Life is a journey full of ups and downs, challenges and victories. Our inner strengths and weaknesses are always at odds. While we all want to live a life of meaning and resilience, there are some behaviors that keep us from attaining our greatest potential. In this transformative journey, we will look at 8 behaviors that make you weak and how to overcome them using Stoic principles. Stoicism, an ancient Greek philosophy created in the early 3rd century BC by Zeno of Citium, offers timeless knowledge that may assist us negotiate the complexity of modern life. Stoicism encourages us to focus on what we can control, to acquire qualities as knowledge, bravery, and self-discipline, and to face life's inevitable problems with grace and perseverance. Remember that self-awareness is the first step toward transformation as we explore these 8 behaviors. We may begin the road of replacing these behaviors with Stoic ideals by recognizing and admitting them within ourselves. Epictetus stated that the secret to keeping company with people who raise you and whose presence pulls forth your finest qualities is to maintain company solely with those who uplift you. Many of us have a bad tendency of putting off duties and obligations. It erodes our determination, stymies our progress, and eventually robs us of valuable time that could be spent on personal development and important tasks. The principle of carpe diem, or seizing the day, has long been used to combat procrastination. The emphasis in Stoicism is on the present moment and making the most of it. Procrastination, on the other hand, is motivated by fear of the future or discomfort with the work at hand. To break this tendency, we must adopt a Stoic perspective and remind ourselves that the only time we actually control is the present. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, encouraged us to concentrate on what we can control and let go of what we cannot. Procrastination is sometimes caused by focusing on the prospective results or difficulty of a job rather than just acting. We may break free from the bonds of procrastination by following the Stoic ideal of focusing on the process rather than the end. Begin by creating modest, realistic goals and working toward them regularly. Accept the discomfort and uncertainty of the current moment, for it is in these times of difficulty that we grow and gain the strength to tackle greater challenges. Remember that time is a limited resource, and each day you put off is a day you will never get back. Negative self-talk is habit number 2. According to Marcus Aurelius, our life is what our thoughts make it. Our self-talk has a significant influence on our self-esteem, confidence, and overall well-being. Negative self-talk is a destructive habit. Stoicism encourages us to take control of our thoughts and replace negativity with logic and self-compassion by undermining our self-belief and preventing us from attaining our ultimate potential. Marcus Aurelius, a well-known historical philosopher and Roman emperor, underlined the need of monitoring our inner conversation. He believed that our ideas determine our perspective of the world, and that we must work to keep a positive and sensible mentality. Begin by monitoring your thoughts without judgment to prevent negative self-talk. When self-criticism or self-doubt seeps in, counter these ideas with logic. Consider if these views are supported by evidence or are the result of anxiety and insecurity. Stoicism advises us to cultivate self-compassion, to treat ourselves with the same love and understanding that we would show a friend in a comparable circumstance. Instead of berating yourself for perceived flaws or failures, consider what you can learn from them and how you may better. As you replace negative self-talk with Stoic principles of logic and self-compassion, you will uncover an inner strength and resilience that will enable you to confront life's obstacles with confidence and grace. The third habit is to avoid challenges. If you want to better yourself, you must be willing to let people believe you are silly and uneducated. Avoiding difficulties and remaining in your comfort zone is a bad habit that stunts your growth and potential. It inhibits the development of patience, bravery, and adaptation to new conditions. The Stoic philosophy encourages us to view discomfort and challenges as chances for personal growth. Epictetus thought that embracing problems and stretching our limitations resulted in personal progress and self-mastery. Avoiding difficulties is seen to be crucial for personal development and self-improvement. Stoics think that by willingly confronting tough situations, we learn patience, improve our morals, and obtain a better understanding of ourselves and our surroundings. People in modern culture frequently seek comfort and avoid any type of discomfort. We tend to take the shortest route, preferring convenience and instant pleasure. While this may bring immediate respite, it might stymie long-term growth and prevent us from attaining our greatest potential. We miss out on tremendous possibilities to grow and explore ourselves when we shun obstacles. According to Stoic philosophy, genuine strength is the capacity to confront obstacles squarely and patiently. We learn vital lessons, gain patience, and strengthen characteristics like bravery, persistence, and resilience as a result of these trials. We hinder our personal and intellectual progress when we always seek comfort and shun difficulties. We grow stuck and fail to reach our full potential. Stoics advise us to push ourselves beyond our comfort zones and participate in activities that challenge us to our limits. We not only broaden our talents, but we also gain confidence and personal fulfillment. Avoiding challenges might sometimes contribute to a dread of failure. When we continuously choose the safe route and avoid risks, we miss out on opportunities to learn from our errors and grow. Failure, according to Stoic philosophy, is a natural part of life and a good learning experience. We may extract learning from our failures and utilize it to drive ourselves ahead by approaching failure with a Stoic perspective. It is critical to understand that actively seeking pain does not imply willfully wanting unnecessary suffering. Stoic philosophy does not advocate inflicting unneeded hardship on oneself. Instead, it encourages us to approach problems with a calm and analytical mind. It is about shifting our viewpoint and accepting that discomfort is a natural aspect of life that may lead to growth and self-improvement. We gain personal power by intentionally seeking out obstacles and pain. Instead of relying on external circumstances, we learn to rely on our principles and inner strength. Stoic philosophy instructs us to concentrate on what we have control over, which are our ideas, actions, and reactions to the situations we confront. We grow less reliant on outside influences for pleasure and success. The application of Stoic concepts to our lives can have a significant influence. It enables us to approach life with purpose and patience. We improve our ability to deal with hardships, failures, and unexpected events. Rather than being overwhelmed by difficulties, we learn to view them as chances for growth and self-improvement. To keep a Stoic perspective and see it through, we must approach this issue with an open mind and be willing to question our present ideas and behaviors. We may cultivate a strong, adaptable attitude focused on personal development by identifying the desire to avoid discomfort and adopting Stoic ideas of confronting obstacles squarely. Accept discomfort and obstacles and embark on a road of self-discovery and self-improvement. Excessive materialism is habit number 4. The focus in Stoic philosophy is on ethics and inner qualities above exterior objects. However, when we get too obsessed with consumerism, we risk losing sight of what actually matters and failing to discover permanent happiness. It's easy to become caught up in the quest of material prosperity in today's culture when materialism reigns supreme. We frequently feel that having a large number of belongings would offer us happiness and contentment. Stoic philosophy, on the other hand, teaches us that external things are fleeting and ultimately beyond our control. They can be misplaced, stolen, or destroyed. Relying on them for happiness exposes us to the risk of perpetual disappointment and discontent. We develop unending wants for more when we tie our self-worth and satisfaction to worldly items. We might get preoccupied with amassing riches, always looking for the next big transaction or the newest technical item. Because there is always something fresh to desire or someone who has more than us, this everlasting desire can lead to permanent discontent. Seneca, a well-known Stoic philosopher, underlined the need of differentiating between desires and necessities. Excessive materialism arises from an insatiable drive for more, and the misguided idea that possession would offer long-term contentment. Stoicism urges us to rethink our desires and prioritize those that are compatible with our ideals and well-being. Begin by practicing contentment with what you currently have to break the tendency of excessive consumerism. Recognize that pursuing material items frequently results in a cycle of want and frustration. Instead, concentrate on cultivating values such as knowledge, bravery, and compassion. These are the genuine sources of fulfillment. Stoic philosophy instructs us to prioritize the cultivation of inner qualities over material things. We have influence over qualities like knowledge, courage, serenity, and justice, which can contribute to long-term happiness. We may discover great meaning and happiness in life by cherishing and developing these values. Furthermore, excessive consumerism can cause emotions of uneasiness and worry. We may be concerned about losing what we have or comparing ourselves to those who appear to have more. This attachment feeds a vicious cycle of dread and jealousy, impeding our capacity to live in peace and tranquility. Stoic philosophy teaches us to develop detachment in order to overcome this propensity. This does not imply that we should give up all material goods. Instead, we should cultivate a positive relationship with them. Recognize that things, rather than being a source of validation or enjoyment, are instruments that may be utilized to better our lives and the lives of others. Practicing thankfulness is one method to cultivate detachment. We may build pleasure and lessen addiction to worldly items by appreciating what we have and concentrating on what actually matters. We may also pursue minimalism, which involves simplifying our lives and eliminating unneeded distractions. We may match our behaviors with Stoic ideas by releasing ourselves from the slavery of consumerism. We can concentrate on virtue development, meaningful connections with others, and contributing to the advancement of society. This transformation in mentality helps us to attain true happiness and live a life governed by Stoic ideas. To summarize, an unhealthy connection to worldly items undermines our practice of Stoic philosophy. It steers us away from focusing on inner values and long-term happiness. By acknowledging the fleeting nature of external goods and practicing detachment, we may break free from the cycle of desire and find fulfillment in virtue growth and living by Stoic ideals. Fifth tendency: seeking external validation. Seeking external validation is a tendency that can undermine your practice of Stoic philosophy. Stoic philosophy emphasizes the significance of focusing on one's own internal virtues rather than seeking approval from others. Relying too much on external approval might make you reliant on the views of others and damage your self-reliance. With the increasing popularity of social media platforms in today's culture, seeking external acceptance has become prevalent. We frequently depend our sense of self-worth and satisfaction on the number of likes, comments, and following we receive. When one's self-esteem is dependent on the views and approval of others, it can lead to a weak self-esteem. Stoic philosophy, on the other hand, teaches us that genuine happiness and fulfillment come from inside. Stoic thinkers place a premium on cultivating characteristics such as knowledge, bravery, justice, and self-control. These virtues are not dependent on the views or acceptance of others. They are nevertheless attributes that we can build and nurture within ourselves, independent of external circumstances. We give away our authority when we continuously seek acceptance from others. We become readily swayed by shifting ideas, and our self-esteem becomes reliant on their acceptance. This might result in a never-ending need for outward acceptance, making it difficult to attain fulfillment and inner calm. Consider the following example to demonstrate this tendency. Assume you've produced a blog article that you're proud of and invested a lot of time and effort into. Instead of evaluating the worth of your work and the happiness it provides, you seek approval by counting the number of views, likes, and comments. You are dissatisfied and doubtful if the feedback is not as expected. The reliance on external approval for the worth of your work undermines your confidence and decreases the intrinsic value of your efforts. So, how can we break this tendency and strengthen our practice of Stoic philosophy? To begin, it is critical to acknowledge that seeking external acceptance is ephemeral and sometimes beyond our control. Others' perceptions might shift, and the hunt for their acceptance is an ongoing one. Instead, concentrate on cultivating internal qualities and acting in accordance with Stoic ideas. Exercise self-awareness and acceptance. Be aware of your emotions and ideas. When seeking acceptance, ask yourself why you need it and consider whether it actually corresponds with your beliefs and aspirations. Remember that your worth is defined by your character and activities, not by the judgments of others. Develop your confidence in your capacity to evaluate and make decisions for yourself. Seek internal approval by analyzing your acts in light of the Stoic values. Rather of comparing yourself to others, concentrate on your own personal development and progress. Remember that your pleasure and fulfillment come from inside, not from outside sources. Create a supportive environment around yourself by surrounding yourself with individuals who respect and promote your progress rather than those who continuously criticize or make you feel self-conscious. Seek comments from people you trust who have your best interests in mind, but keep in mind that their opinions should not define your work. In conclusion, continuously seeking external acceptance diminishes our practice of Stoic philosophy. We may focus on building inner values and achieving satisfaction from inside by understanding the folly of relying on the views of others to evaluate ourselves. Develop self-awareness and a supportive community. You may deepen your practice of Stoic philosophy and live a more ethical and meaningful life by doing so. Sixth habit: inability to cope with negative emotions. Stoic philosophy teaches us the value of reason and not allowing emotions to determine our actions. When we succumb to bad emotions such as rage, jealousy, or fear, we lose our capacity to remain calm and act virtuously. Let us go deeper into this subject to better understand the influence of negative emotions on our Stoic practice and overall well-being. Negative emotions overcome reason and impair our judgment. When rage takes over, we frequently act rashly, saying or doing things we later regret. Envy may cause us to become angry and bitter, which can lead to negative feelings that affect our relationships. Fear may immobilize us and hinder us from taking required risks or confronting obstacles. These emotions not only impair our capacity to make wise judgments, but also our progress toward cultivating qualities such as patience, compassion, and self-control. Emotions are viewed as perceptions that originate from our judgment of the world in Stoic philosophy. Stoics think that we have control over our judgments and, as a result, our emotions. We may evaluate our ideas and assessments, question thoughts that lead to bad feelings, and establish thoughts that are in harmony with reason and ethics by practicing mindfulness and self-awareness. One of the major ideas of Stoic philosophy is the concept of apatheia, which is sometimes misinterpreted as full emotional detachment. However, it is not about hiding or rejecting feelings, but about growing emotional resilience and sustaining inner peace when confronted with adversity. Stoics recognize that unpleasant emotions are normal and inescapable, but they advise us to respond with logic, prudence, and restraint. So, how can we fight our tendency to surrender to unpleasant emotions and enhance our Stoic practice? The first strategy is to cultivate awareness. We may become more aware of our emotions as they occur by practicing mindfulness. We may examine our thoughts and feelings without becoming overwhelmed by them when we practice mindfulness. This understanding allows us to pause and pick a more sensible reaction rather of reacting impulsively. Number 2, question your assessments. When unpleasant emotions occur, investigate the basic assessments that are causing them. Are your assessments based on a fair appraisal of the issue, or are they skewed by bias or unreasonable beliefs? These evaluations can be challenged and restructured to help you modify your viewpoint and lower the intensity of unpleasant feelings. Third, practice self-reflection. Reflect on your ideas, behaviors, and their repercussions on a regular basis. Recognize the recurring patterns that cause your unpleasant feelings and experiment with different reactions. Self-reflection helps you to identify possible areas for improvement and establish effective emotional management skills. Number 4, seeks virtue rather than vengeance. In times of rage or resentment, remember the Stoic concept of focusing on virtue rather than pursuing vengeance or cultivating animosity. Consider the long-term implications of acting on negative emotions and make an effort to respond with love, understanding, and forgiveness. Number 5, practice serenity. Stoic philosophy instructs us to accept what we cannot control and to focus on what we can. Develop a calm attitude, acknowledging that you have no influence over external events or the behavior of others. You can discover inner peace and minimize the influence of bad emotions by letting go of the impulse to control everything. By employing these tactics on a regular basis, we may break the tendency of surrendering to unpleasant emotions and deepen our Stoic practice. It is critical to remember that this procedure requires time and effort. We will make mistakes along the road, but each one will present a chance for development and learning. On your path to a more virtuous and fulfilling existence, commit to the Stoic ideals of self-awareness and endurance. Allowing unpleasant emotions to dominate our behavior, in summary, weakens the practice of Stoicism. We may progressively minimize the effect of unpleasant emotions in our lives by growing mindfulness, challenging our evaluations, practicing self-reflection, pursuing virtue above vengeance, and embracing tranquility. This aligns us with Stoic principles of logic, resilience, and inner tranquility, leading to a more virtuous and meaningful existence. Habit number 7 is brooding on past mistakes. Brooding on past mistakes is a bad habit that might impair your Stoic philosophy practice. Instead of endlessly obsessing on our faults, Stoic philosophy advises us to focus on the present moment, accept what has happened, and learn from it. However, many of us are often caught in a loop of regret, guilt, and self-blame, which inhibits us from going ahead and evolving as people. We reinforce negative feelings and create a sense of stagnation when we relive past mistakes in our minds. This tendency not only undermines our capacity to achieve calm and satisfaction, but it also inhibits us from fully appreciating the present and making constructive changes. Recognizing that we cannot change the past is a fundamental concept of Stoic philosophy. Epictetus, a great Stoic philosopher, famously stated that what truly frightens and dismays us is not external events themselves, but how we think about them. This remark underlines the significance of our ideas and perceptions in constructing our worldview. We allow ourselves to get absorbed in bad thoughts and emotions by obsessing on previous errors, which causes unneeded pain. Instead, Stoic philosophy teaches us to accept our previous acts and results, accept responsibility for them, and focus on what we can do now to better ourselves and our circumstances. Compassion and forgiveness are essential for breaking this behavior. We are human beings who make errors, and making mistakes is a normal part of the development and learning process. Instead of blaming ourselves for our acts in the past, we should aim for self-acceptance and understanding. It might be beneficial to shift our viewpoint on mistakes. Instead of viewing them as failures, we might see them as essential lessons that help us grow as people. Every mistake is a chance for personal development and advancement. By adopting this perspective, we may release the burden of previous mistakes and concentrate on the current moment. Mindfulness is another effective strategy for dealing with the tendency of focusing on previous mistakes. Focusing on the present moment without judgment is what mindfulness entails. By focusing on the present moment, we may break away from the cycle of regret and completely engage in the present experience. Furthermore, cultivating a habit of appreciation may be quite beneficial in diverting our focus away from previous mistakes. By cultivating a practice of being grateful for the present moment and the lessons learned from previous events, we turn our emphasis to the good elements of life and encourage a sense of fulfillment. Finally, changing the tendency of concentrating on previous failures needs intentional effort and a commitment to adopting Stoic philosophy's ideals. It's critical to remember that we have a choice in how we respond to our mistakes, and concentrating on them simply prevents us from living a full and virtuous life. We may reduce the grip of this habit and build a more Stoic viewpoint by letting go of the past and embracing self-compassion, practicing mindfulness, and creating a practice of thankfulness. We may grow as individuals by learning from our failures and directing our efforts toward what actually matters, the present moment and the pursuit of virtue. So, in order to live a more meaningful and virtuous life, seek to break free from the bonds of regret over the past and embrace the precepts of Stoic philosophy. In Stoic philosophy, the notion of cosmopolitanism stresses the idea that we are all members of a broader human society and that we should care about the well-being of everyone. Ignoring others' needs and suffering might erode our empathy and moral goodness, impeding the development of ethical attributes. According to Stoic philosophy, we should seek to live in harmony with nature and nurture qualities like knowledge, justice, bravery, and moderation. The virtue of kindness or goodwill toward others is one of the primary virtues highlighted by Stoic philosophy. Neglecting others' well-being breaches this concept and might lead to a detachment from our fellow humans. We grow insensitive to the problems, needs, and suffering of others when we neglect their well-being. Indifference can present itself in a variety of ways, including being indifferent to the plight of the less fortunate and failing to give support or aid. We miss out on the opportunity to cultivate empathy and compassion, which are important for the formation of moral character, when we ignore the well-being of others. According to Stoic philosophy, all persons are deserving of respect, compassion, and empathy. We may foster empathy and act in ways that support the well-being of others by understanding the interdependence of all individuals. When we overlook the well-being of others, we forego the rewards of acts of compassion and generosity. According to research, acts of kindness not only benefit the recipient, but also have a favorable influence on the giver's well-being. We can get happiness, purpose, and connection by actively seeking the well-being of others, Furthermore, disregarding the well-being of others reinforces a self-centered perspective, impeding our own progress. According to Stoic philosophy, genuine pleasure and fulfillment result from living a virtuous life and aligning our actions with the principles of reason and ethics. We lose sight of this fundamental reality when we ignore the benefit of others and become slaves of greed and self-interest. To break this tendency and enhance our practice of Stoic philosophy, we must cultivate empathy and benevolence toward others. This may be accomplished by actively learning about other people's opinions and experiences via acts of compassion. By adopting the virtue of kindness, we not only strengthen our Stoic philosophy practice, but we also contribute to the creation of a world filled with compassion and peace. We become positive change agents, encouraging the well-being of others and cultivating a feeling of community. To summarize, disregarding the well-being of others is a bad habit that undermines our practice of Stoic philosophy. We may actively attempt to change this tendency and create a stronger concern for the well-being of all people by realizing the value of empathy and benevolence. We not only build our own character, but we also help to create a more ethical and caring society. We have looked deeply into the knowledge of a Stoic philosophy and how its principles might equip us to overcome these habits through the 8 habits that make you weak. Stoic thought can help to change all of these tendencies. Stoicism encourages us to concentrate on what we can control, to cultivate our virtues, and to meet life's obstacles with bravery and patience. It urges us to be happy in the present moment and to let go of the need for external acceptance and material goods. It allows us to move beyond our comfort zone and learn from our mistakes without being held back by regret. Remember that transformation requires time and work. As you begin on the road of changing weakness into strength, be kind with oneself and use Stoic ideas in your daily life. You may break away from these behaviors and live a purposeful, robust, and calm life with effort and determination. Adopt Stoic philosophy's precepts, seek acceptance from within, replace complaints with thankfulness, value virtue over worldly prosperity, confront problems with bravery, and let go of the past. You will therefore go on a transforming adventure that will take you to a life of power, knowledge, and permanent happiness. The path is yours, and the goal is within your grasp. Take advantage of today and use Stoic philosophy to enhance your life. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Please leave your comments in the section below. If you found this video useful, please like and share it with others who might find it useful as well. If you haven't already, please subscribe. We hope you will stick with us as we learn and grow together.